Alright guys, here's a real quick lesson on how to draw the eye. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this shape. And what it's going to be kind of like a flattened football shape. Alright? So like a football except a little bit more squished. And then we're going to make this the inside. The inside is going to be round and the outside is going to be pointy. Okay. So we have this top eyelid and this is going to be our bottom eyelid. And just looking at an example, I have a picture over here. You'll see that on the inside, this is backwards of course, but the inside is going to have your tear duct right here. This is whenever you cry, this is where all your tears come out of. It keeps your eyes moist. Okay, so of course we have it on the opposite end. We'll go ahead and draw that over here. So this is going to be the tear duct. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the colored part, which is called the iris. And that's going to extend past the top eyelid. Big mistake people do is they'll draw the whole iris in here, and you don't want to do that, because if you do, it's going to look like the person that you're drawing is going to be like surprised or scared or something. Alright, so whenever you look at someone, their iris is usually partially covered by the top eyelid. Next thing, what you're going to do is you're going to draw the pupil, which is the part in the middle. That's the black part. And what you want to do is make sure that you have the same amount of space going all the way around. Whenever I see people drawing the eye, usually there's a little tiny space right here, and then they have a whole bunch here on the bottom. That's what you want to try and avoid. Make it so that like if it's a donut, same space all the way around. Okay. Next thing, what we're going to do is draw another line right here on the bottom, underneath this one. Okay. This would be the eyelid, and then we're going to have another line underneath it, which is going to represent the thickness to the eyelid. And looking at the example that I had over here, you'll see that, where we have the top line and then the bottom line. This one is going to be the one that the eyelashes are going to be coming off of. So, what are we going to do next? We need to create a little light source so that our eye looks wet. Going back to our example, see how there's a little reflection area right there? What we want to do is do something similar. So let's say I'm going to make this like a little reflection area. The whole time I'm shading, I'm not going to shade in that part. So start off with the easiest part first. Come in here, and I'm going to make my pupil completely black. Okay. If you've ever looked at your eyeball really up close, very interesting. There's all kinds of colors and lines in there, and they all start from the middle towards the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shading the eye, and if the person has dark colored eyes, what I'm going to do is go ahead and shade that a little bit darker. If they have light colored eyes, I wouldn't have it quite as dark. But anyways, these I'm hatching towards the outside. Okay, and I can go ahead and shade this eye over here. I'm going to do it so that this person has kind of light colored eyes. Usually whenever you're drawing people's eyes, they're not gonna be that big. So a lot of this work that I'm doing right here, you probably wouldn't even notice anyways. And in the middle, there's gonna be some random dark ones, okay? Now you notice that the whole time I was shading, I tried to avoid that spot right there. I come over here and outline my iris. Okay, next thing. Somewhere along here on the eyelid, there's usually a wrinkle. And I'm going to put that over here more or less where I put the top of my iris. Can erase that out now because I don't need it. There's that wrinkle. Okay, and then after that, what I'm going to do is come in lightly shade my tear duct. It has a shape to it, so what we're going to do is have it a little bit darker over here. It gets lighter. As it comes back in, it's going to start getting darker again, right? And then we shade it out. So this would be the darkest area, especially up here on top. Lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some eyelashes here in the eye, okay? But before I do that, what I want to do is shade my eyelid. So usually the darkest part, again, this is backwards, but you'll notice that the darkest area is over here. right next to the nose. Okay, that's always the case. You can have it really dark right here whenever you're looking at someone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this dark area in here, make this the darkest, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and shade up, just kind of fade it out, and same thing going down, but not quite as much. Right? Just really quickly try to get that there. And trying to keep it darker over here by this line and have it fade up. And the reason is that this eyelid is coming down and it pops back out. And this would be where the darkest area is. And it's usually the deepest over here right next to where the nose is going to be. So I'm going to fade that out. Okay. Alright. So usually I like to do this, especially whenever I'm working in charcoals. Right now I'm doing pencil, but I like to get that done in there first, because later on, whenever I go to try to do if I do my eyelashes first and then try to shade this later, it'll smudge the eyelash lines. There's usually some shading over here. Some people have some really deep bags under their eyes, so there might be a little bit of shadow here in this area as well. I'm going to just keep it light just to give you make it look like there's a little bit of deepness in there. Okay, eyelashes. Definitely don't want them to be perfect. Eyelashes go every which direction, okay? And as I'm doing these eyelashes, I'm just going to kind of make sweeping motion going back and forth. That's going to give you the impression that they're going in different directions, right? And you don't want to have 100 of these things either. We do have a lot of eyelashes, but you don't want it to be completely black. And when we're doing our eyelashes off of this bottom lid, we want them coming off of this line over here. We want some eyelashes in there, not quite as many as what we had on top. It's usually better to do eyelashes whenever your pencil is not sharp. That way you can get these nice thick lines. As a matter of fact, girls usually put product on their eyes to make this look darker, right? And they put a little wing over here. And this is all to make the eyelashes look thicker. Same thing on the bottom. What I can do is maybe come in here and press a little harder. So if it's a girl, I can make it look like if she's wearing makeup. Make these lines dark. What I'm doing is outlining this bottom eyelid. Apparently girls put makeup all in this area as well. I don't know how they do it without getting it on their eyeball, but whatever. Go ahead and make my lashes a little thicker if it's a girl, right? That way it looks like it has some product on there. And then your eyelashes, they're protecting your eyes, but they're also keeping the sun off of them. So what we're going to do is to keep from having a completely white eyeball, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in here. Just very lightly. You don't want it to look too dark, but from dark to light, from the bottom down, right? Never want to have a completely white eyeball, because then it's going to look fake. And that's my super quick demo on how to draw an eye.